Good day, folks. Welcome to the MB Wildman channel. On today's episode, I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to make your own buck jam, the apple flavor kind. And this is great stuff, nice thick mixture, good for putting on stumps, good for putting on logs, great for pouring right around the ground, mixing in with corn, whatever you want to do with it. So this is a really great attractant, and it's an easy recipe that you can do at home, make as much or as little as you want. Real inexpensive, you can get most of your stuff at a local grocery store, and quick and easy to build, quick and easy to make, and the deer love it. Listen, if you haven't yet subscribed to the MB Wildman channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell so that you get notified when we upload new content. And as always, we're looking for feedback, questions, comments, whatever you got, put them down below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. That said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the proof that this actually works. So if you look at this video, right up here, this is a spot earlier from this season, real early in the season, and I put out some of this apple flavored buck jam, my own recipe here, and I just poured it on the ground, and you can see here that this deer, this little buck, is he's just lapping this up. He loves it, and you can see he's chewing at the dirt, and he's getting big mouthfuls, and he's chomping away at it. That's the exact spot where I poured this apple flavored buck jam, my homemade recipe. So this guy certainly loves it. It does work well. It works well early, works well late. It is a great attractant, and it's not a real big food source. So you may get a few bears that'll walk by because it does smell like apple a lot, but they won't stick around because there's nothing for them to really eat. So it's pretty much a deer attractant. So that said, let me walk you through how to make this. It's pretty easy. Okay, so first thing we're going to use is 2 liters of hot water. It doesn't have to be like boiling water, just hot water out of your tap. You just want it to be able to dissolve some of the powder ingredients that we're going to use in a minute. I mix my stuff up in an old Lucky Buck bucket just because it's super easy. I make 4 liters at a time because I store this in like old either buck jam or old like even windshield washer fluid jugs that are 4 liters that you wash them out, and then you can store this stuff in it for later on use. Also easy to carry out in the woods, right? You can also just snap the lid back on this and take it in this. It doesn't really matter. So we'll put this in. That's the way to start anyway. All right, so there's our 2 liters of warm water. That's the first thing that we need. Next up, we're going to put in about half a bag of icing sugar. So the icing sugar that I buy is, I believe this is 1 kilogram. So you're going to want about a pound of icing sugar. It doesn't really, I just put in approximately half the bag, okay? There we go, that's roughly half the bag. And I'll save that for the next batch that I do. We're gonna grab our stir stick here, old wooden spoon, whatever you want to stir with, and you're just gonna stir in that icing sugar until it's pretty much all dissolved in your warm water. It doesn't take long, icing sugar dissolves quickly. Perfect. Next, we're going to use just regular household table salt, and this is a 1 kilogram box. So I'm going to use half of this box. I used the first half in a different video, and so basically we're using a little over a pound of table salt, and you want to add that to your warm water. I'm going to add it all in there. Now you can use whatever kind of salt you want, by the way. I like table salt because it dissolves quickly in the water. You can use road salt. You can use the salt that you buy at like Canadian Tire, like hunting salt or whatever you want. It really doesn't matter what salt you use. You just want to use, a pound of salt to add to your mixture. Can be a little more, but I find if you start getting too much salt in the mixture, your liquid gets saturated really quickly and it won't dissolve any more liquid. So I try to keep it to about a pound of salt. Probably should have cut the top off the box, would have been a little quicker. Eh. Now that it's almost gone, I'll tear the top off the box, which is what I should have done to begin with. Makes perfect sense. There we go. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Again, just stir that in. You want your warm water to dissolve all that. Your mixture should start to thicken up a little bit at this point. Get a little bit heavier in consistency. Okay. Next, we're going to use 1 box of cherry jello. Okay, so we'll stir that in. I'm going to give it a nice red consistency. Going to give it some smell right there. You'll instantly notice a pretty strong aroma. So will the deer, and they're going to love it. All right, next up, we're going to take 2 liters of apple juice. Doesn't matter what kind. This is Graves in 1 liter bottles, but I find the cheapest apple juice I can find. We buy this for 50 cents a bottle when it's on sale at like Superstore, Walmart, whatever. And so whenever I find a good sale on apple juice, I pick up whatever I feel I'm going to need or want to make these mixtures. So 2 liters of apple juice go with the 2 liters of warm water. And that pretty much gives us our 4 liters of mixture. Okay, so we'll mix that in. And now if you smell this, if you take a smell of this, it's got a really interesting aroma. It's got the cherry flavored jello in there, but it also has now 2 liters of the apple juice, and the apple juice is a super strong apple aroma. And the cherry just gives it, it's a little bit of a sweet, it's really difficult to describe. It's a really unique flavor, or aroma, I guess. And the last ingredient that we're going to use here before we let this sit overnight is we're going to use 1 package of liquid Surdo. So this is the stuff that you use when you're canning or making preservatives, okay, of some kinds, right? Jams and jellies, things like that. This helps to, this acts as a preservative, and it will help to make your mixture into more of a gelatin type mixture. It'll thicken it up, and it will keep it, it'll react with the jello as well, a little bit. When you put this in, this is liquid Surdo. It's not very expensive. You buy it, you know, where you buy your jams and jellies and all that stuff. Usually comes in like a 2-pack in a cardboard box, but I just use 1 package of it. It's all you need for each little bunch here. There you go. So 1 pack of liquid Surdo. And that's kind of a key ingredient. What that will do is you'll see as you start to mix this up, now that you're mixing it, right, you'll see it starting to form almost a, I don't know what it's, kind of like a gooey type substance on the top. The bubbles are forming more of a thicker consistency. So you want to stir this up really well. Okay. Now, as you're stirring here, if you haven't yet seen my video for the how to make your buck jam molasses flavor, you can go ahead and check that out. I'll put a link up here in the corner, and you can check that out after this video is done. But basically right now you've got all of your ingredients in the pail. It's still pretty thin, but it is starting to thicken up. So between the Surdo and the Jello, this mixture will slowly start to get a little bit thicker. Now it's never going to get like super thick like molasses, don't get me wrong, but it is going to take on a thicker consistency than water. It's going to have a great smell to it. And all I do now, I leave it in this pail, just overnight. I just put the lid on it loose. I don't snap it right on. I just put the lid on it real loose. And in the morning when I come back, I'll just take a funnel and pour it into an empty 4-liter container. And then that's it. It'll thicken up a little bit overnight, not too much. But it will thicken up overnight. And when you take it out in the morning or take it out to your deer spot, again, it's great for pouring over stumps or dead rotten logs or, you know, wherever. Great flavor, great aroma. Deer love it. So anyway, I hope this helps you out, and you can use this out on your one of your hunting spots. Just give it a test, give it a try, and we'll see. Hopefully, you make it real well with it. So until next time, happy hunting from the MB Wildman channel.